there guys, in the previous video we learned about the grid layout, which allowed us to place our user interface widgets in terms of rows and columns. Now in this video we shall be learning about a layout which helps to place our widgets more accurately in any space as required. So that will be the grid back layout. So let's get started. Now first of all, create a new project, click next, click next. Now name the project as grid back, and I'll navigate to IntelliJ projects and grid layout directory. Sorry, not grid layout, it's a grid back layout actually, and click on finish. Everything being pre-cooked. Now new Java class, let it be grid back. That's it. Now let's proceed with the 3 import statements: java x.swing.asterisk import. That's fine. Then we are having the java.awt.asterisk. At last we are having the java.awt.event.asterisk. Used for event handling, but anyway, let's leave it there. Now another important notice: from the next video onwards, I shall not be coding from the scratch. I shall leave those redundant codes there and shall be starting from that point. Since we have dealt with these boilerplate code from the start, and within these videos we were coding from scratch, and I hope that you might already familiarized with that general structure. Anyways, let's proceed. Just mention that now let's have the call to the superclass method, and sets the title of the window, and that must be grid back. Oh, we have now extended from the JFrame class actually. Now it's okay. Now we are having the set default close operation. What happened there? Nothing coming up. Oh, we haven't set the constructor yet. Grid back. Now let's start calling the pre-built methods. First of all, the call to the superclass method, which sets the title of the window, and the title should be grid back in this case, and of course layout. And now we're having the set default close operation method as well, and the parameter should be jframe.exit on close. That's done. Now let's proceed to the set size method and supply in the usual parameter, the 400 for width and 400 for height in terms of pixels. Now the set resizable method, and set it to false, a boolean value. We are also having the set visible method. As I said in the initial videos, the priorities or the ordered priorities of these methods, of calling these methods, doesn't matter except the case of the call to the superclass method, and set it to true, boolean value. And now let's set the layout to the grid back layout. Let's pass in an object of the grid back layout class, and for this layout we also require another additional class known as the grid back constraints. So let's instantiate an object of the grid back constraints. C equals new grid back constraints, and that's it. Now you will see the need for this new class in action within a minute. So I think everything is fine until now. So as in the previous video, we shall be declaring 6 variables. First of all, we require 2 labels, just as in the case of the previous video. Also 2 J buttons, P1 and B2. Then we are having 2 text fields as well, T1 and T2. So we shall declare them as private as well, and also declaring these variables as private is a good practice. Okay, the keyword private makes them accessible only to this class and not outside the class. It is an access specifier. If you're not familiar, I hope that you will be familiar with it. Of course, if you're taking this video course, it means that you're already familiar with those object-oriented principles, and it's a good practice to declare them as private. Now let's have them instantiated here first of all the label, and supply the parameter as in the case of the previous video, or simply just one. That's it. And just now we shall discover the features of the grid back layout. So if you are familiar with the coordinate system taught as being part of the basic school level math, the origin or the point 0, 0 starts at here, the top leftmost corner, pointed by the mouse pointer, and the horizontal axis is the x-axis and the vertical axis is the y-axis. And now when it comes to computer science, it is being here, but when in the mathematical backgrounds it is not like that. But in computer science it is represented by the topmost left corner, and x-axis increases to the right side while the y-axis increases vertically downside. So I hope that you might be already familiar with those coordinate system, but in computer science there's a little bit difference. I was just pointing out to that fact. Now let's point the exact point where this label should appear. So the label should be plotted at the point 0, 0. So that should be represented by c.gridx, and the x coordinate must be 0, and also the y coordinate must be 0 as well. Now while adding, we shall pass in two parameters, the first being L1 and the next being C. In this case we are providing two parameters to the add method, and there's no problem in this case. Now this is in the case of all other widgets as well. So let's instantiate the next label, pass in 2, there you go, 2, then the c.gridx, and this is the usage of the gridback constraints class, and C is a gridback constraints object. Actually constraints means a set of rules, and we are setting the rules by providing the x coordinate and y coordinate for each and every widgets. So here the x coordinate must be 1 since it appears next to the first label, and the y coordinate should be same since they are on the same line, and y coordinate must be 0. And let's add L2 and C to the window buttons there. Instantiate the button B1, and again fill in the string, and that's it. C.gridx will be 0, and C.grid y will be 1, and let's add to the window B1 as well as the constraints grid y. Okay, same as the case of the labels. Now let's instantiate the second button, J button. Okay, B2 equals new J button, and let's fill in the string 2 as in the case of the second label. Now for the grid x as well as the grid y, the grid x will be 1 and the grid y will be 1 as well, since we require the two buttons to be on the same line or the same row. Then we can add B2 as well as C to the window. Now we can instantiate the text fields, new text field, and let it be of the size 7 at least. Now the x coordinate of the text field will be 0, and the y coordinate will be 2. Grid y. Okay, everything is fine, and let's add T1 as well as E to the window, or the frame technically speaking. Now we are having that second text field T2, which too has the same size of almost 7 characters, and let's add it to the window as well. First of all, declare the x coordinate and y coordinate. X coordinate will be 1 and the y coordinate will be 2, and let's add the T2 as well as C, the gridback constraint object, to the window. And that's it, we are done with it. Now I think everything will be working perfect. First of all, let's compile or build the project. taking a while and successfully completed. So let's run our code, and nothing shown to be. Okay, where shall we run? Okay, now let's run this code and check whether it is working properly. Now let's try to run the code once again. Okay, it's done. And as we can see, we got the 2 labels, 2 buttons, as well as 2 text fields. And we got the label here since it adjusts with the size of the window, and it points to the point 00 somewhere here, and the 01 goes somewhere here, and it all depends upon the size of window as well. So let's try to reduce the size of the window a little bit. Let it be 200 and 200, but it's not actually looking like the grid layout. So let's compile it and run it again. Build project, reduce the lock screen for a while, minimize the lock screen. Now let's run it again, and it's barely visible. The buttons and stuffs are barely visible, so let's increase the width and height again to 300. Let's build the project again and run it again. Okay, and we got these tiny little buttons, labels, and text fields. So I just want to make you aware that we can place our user interface widgets wherever required using the grid back system or the grid back layout, and also with the help of the grid back constraints where we specify our x coordinate and y coordinate. And so I hope that you might have understood the concept of the grid layout and grid back constraints. And so we have learned about the grid back layout, and also learned how to position our user interface widgets exactly where required, and also learn how the coordinate system is represented in computer science. And that's all for this video. Make sure that you subscribe to stay alert, and also like this, give a thumbs up, leave your comments below, and thanks for watching.